a rectangular concrete beam of cross section 30 centimeter deep and 20 centimeter wide is pre-stressed by means of 15 wires of 5 mm dia located 6.5 centimeter from the bottom and 3 wires of 5 mm dia located 2.5 centimeter from the top. Full stop. Assume the pre-stressing with the steel as 840 Newton per millimeter square, comma, calculate the stresses at the extreme fiber. Calculate the stresses at extreme fiber of the midspan section when the beam is supporting its own weight over a span of 6 meter. When the beam is supporting its own weight over a span of 6 meter. Full stop. If a uniformly distributed live load, of 6 kilonewton per meter is imposed, comma, evaluate the maximum working stress in concrete. Evaluate the maximum working stress in concrete. Full stop. Consider the density of concrete as 24 kilonewton per meter cube. So this is the problem. Please note down the problem. Please note down the problem. So first of all, when they give a problem, we need to observe the things carefully. We need to read the problem carefully. Okay, in the PSC, design of pre-stressed concrete element, so each problem will be unique. Each problem will be unique. So you need to thoroughly read the problem, what exactly they have been given, and what exactly we need to calculate. Is it clear? So this is the problem. So let me consider a rectangular concrete beam of cross section 30 centimeter deep, that is 300 millimeter deep, and 200 millimeter wide. Okay, so this is 200 millimeter wide and 300 millimeter deep beam. Okay, and it is pre-stressed by means of 15 wires of 5 mm dia. That means each wire is of 5 mm dia. So totally 15 numbers of wires is located 6.5 centimeter or 65 millimeter from the bottom of the beam. Okay, that means from the bottom of the beam, so these 15 numbers of wires are located 65 millimeter or 6.5 centimeter from the bottom. Apart from this, 3 more wires of 5 mm dia located 2.75 centimeter from the top. That is, 3 number of wires has been located 2.5 centimeter or 25 millimeter from the top. Full stop. Assume the pre-stress in the steel. Assume the pre-stress in the steel as 840. They have been given the stress in the steel. They have been given the stress in the steel 840 Newton per millimeter square. Comma. Calculate the stresses at the extreme fiber of the midspan section. So in this problem, is clearly asking. Okay, is clearly asking what will be the stress encountered in the PSC element or PSC section, okay, at the extreme fibers of a midspan section. Please note this point. Is asking a stress for a PSC element at a midspan section when the beam supports its own weight, that is dead load, over a span of 6 meter. Full stop. If a UDL live load, that is uniformly distribution live load of 6 kilonewton per meter is imposed, evaluate the maximum working stress in concrete. You can consider like this imposed. Okay, what is the stress induced in the concrete? And they are given the density of concrete as 24. Okay, so let me go ahead. So now let me draw the cross section 200, 300. Okay, and let me consider the 3 number of wires at the top and 50 numbers of wires at the bottom. Okay, and this is the longitudinal section. See here, I have been not drawn the longitudinal section. Okay, so longitudinal section of a beam, okay, of a span 6 meter, subjected to the live load of 6 kilonewton per meter. Is it clear? Fine. So now immediately you should start thinking of this. Sir, they have been considered this number of wires. So where exactly this pre-stressing force or where exactly the pre-stressing will be done? So first of all, he has not given eccentricity distance in the problem. Where exactly I need to induce the pre-stressing force? So that he has not been given. Eccentricity is not being given. Next, instead of giving a pre-stressing force, he has given pre-stress in a steel. Please note this point. Okay. So with this background, let us calculate. And please note down, I need to calculate the stresses for this PSC section at midspan. And this is a purely rectangular section. Please note down, it is a rectangular section. Okay. So now let me go ahead. So first, in order to know the eccentricity or in order to calculate the pre-stressing force, where exactly I need to induce the pre-stressing force, okay, I need to go with eccentricity. So now, since he has not given eccentricity, because we already know that eccentricity is defined as the distance between the centroidal distance of the pre-stressing force induced through the tendon to the centroidal distance of the section. Okay, so that distance is called eccentricity. Is it clear? So for this, let me calculate the centroidal distance of the wire. That means where exactly I need to induce the pre-stressing force, because if you want to calculate the eccentricity, I need to know the centroidal distance of the tendon or a pre-stressing force induced. How to calculate that? So please write down centroidal distance y of the tendon. Please note down, it is not a section. Centroidal distance y of the tendon. Okay, so where exactly the centroidal distance has been located. So now let me know. So the distance of the centroid of the pre-stressing force from the base, distance of the center of the pre-stressing force from the base is, so that is the centroidal distance of the wire equal to. So let me, what I can say, remember your basic engineering mechanics class. How you people used to calculate the centroidal distance, okay, for a given section. Same way here also I'm using the same formula. That is centroidal distance of the wires equal to, let me consider the bottom section, 15 numbers of wire, 15 numbers of wire multiply by the is corresponding centroidal distance 65 mm measured from the base. So please always note down, okay, whenever we used to calculate the centroidal axis, okay, please always write first reference axis. So you need to draw this. So let me draw this reference axis. So this will be your reference axis. So from this reference axis, I'm going to calculate the centroidal distance of the each wire. Okay. So now the number of wires is 15. The centroidal distance, okay, the centroidal distance of this wire measured from the base, because here clearly I mentioned here from the base. I need to measure from the base. So 15 numbers of wires multiply by 65 plus the topmost 3 number of wires multiply by, okay, this distance should be measured from the base. How to measure that? So look at here. Okay, so this centroidal distance measured from the base is, see, the total distance is 300 millimeter. Okay, and the distance of these wires measured from the base is how much? 275. So this distance is 275 millimeter. Is it clear? So like this, we need to calculate the center, because always while calculating the centroidal distance, we need to consider a reference. It may be for section or it may be for a steel. Now I'm calculating the centroidal distance for a steel or for a where exactly I need to induce the pre-stressing force. So for that, I need to calculate the centroid of the pre-stressing force measured from the base. So now 15 numbers into 65 plus 3 numbers into 275 divided by the total number of wires, that is 15 plus 3, that is 18. I will repeat. The number of wires multiplied by the corresponding centroidal distance from the base. Next, number of wires on the top multiplied by the corresponding distance from the base divided by the total number of wires, okay, which is equal to 100 millimeter. Please check the answer. Anybody? Please check the answer. Okay, so from the bottom it is 100 millimeter. Okay, I think you got the right answer. Anybody? Anybody worked in the calculator?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, correct.
So now from the base or from the bottom of the beam at 100 millimeter, I am going to induce the pre-stressing force. Okay, from the bottom of the beam at 100 millimeter, I am going to induce the pre-stressing force. Is it clear? Hence, next immediately go to the eccentricity. Now you can calculate the eccentricity because you came to know what exactly is the centroid of the pre-stressing force induced. So now it is the which have been defined. Eccentricity is defined as the distance between where exactly the pre-stressing force induced to the distance between the centroidal axis of the section. So that distance is called eccentricity. So now if y is 100 millimeter, if y is 100 millimeter, and if how to calculate eccentricity? Anybody? How to calculate eccentricity? You know that this particular distance. So this particular distance is 150 millimeter. Am I right? So this particular distance is 150 millimeter because the centroidal axis of a section exactly lies at this point. Because it is a rectangular section, this section will divide into mirror images, that is two sections, 150 and 150. Okay, so now let us calculate the eccentricity distance. If this is 150, okay, and this is calculated distance is 100. So 150 minus 100, your eccentricity distance is how much? 50 millimeter. So like this, we need to calculate when the eccentricity is not given. Please note this point. In this problem, I have not given the eccentricity. Instead of that, I have given the number of wires. So from the number of wires, where exactly the pre-stressing force induced have been calculated. So that distance is 100 millimeter. Okay, and from we already know that the centroidal distance of this section is 150. So 150 minus 100, we will get 50 millimeter. So this is the way you are going to calculate the eccentricity. Is it clear? Okay. So this is the way you need to calculate the eccentricity when the eccentricity is not given. So let me move on to the next. Pre-stressing force. Okay. So now, one sec. Hello? Are you hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are calculating eccentricity. Next, we'll move on to the next pre-stressing force. See now, in the problem, they are not being given the pre-stressing force. Instead of that, they have been given the pre-stress in the steel. So we know from the basic things that once if you want to calculate the force, the formula is stress multiplied by the area of what? Stress multiplied by the area of what? Cable. Okay. Stress multiplied by the area of cable will give you the pre-stressing force. Please note down. Please note down this. There is a lot of difference between area of cable and area of section. Okay. In a hurry, you will substitute the area of section. So please note down this. So whenever you are going to calculate the pre-stressing force, it is nothing but stress multiplied by the area of cable. So let me know what is that stress. So stress, they already been given 840 Newton per millimeter square. Multiplied by the area of the cable. How to calculate the area of the cable? Number of, that is pi by 4 into d square, because they're being given the diameter. Multiply by the total number of wires is 18. So this will be your area of a cable into 840. Okay, so please note down Newton per millimeter square will be the unit, and here also it is in millimeter square. So all these things are very, very, very important. And once if you substitute in the calculator, you are going to get the answer in Newton. That is 2968800 something Newton. Convert that into kilonewton. Convert that into kilonewton. So hence 296.88 kilonewton. I hope you got the answer. Fine. So next, let me calculate the cross-sectional area or area of cross-section. So since we know that the cross-sectional areas B into D, that is 300 multiplied by 200, that is 6 into 10 to the power of 4 millimeter square. 6 into 10 to the power of 4 millimeter square. That is 300 multiplied by 200. B into, okay, capital D. B into capital D. So that will give you the answer in millimeter square. Please note all these things are very, very important. Units are very, very important while substituting and while getting the answer. Fine. Next, let me move on to the next. Moment of area, okay, or moment of inertia of a rectangular section. So we know from the basics, the moment of inertia for a rectangular section will be given by the formula BD cube by 12. We can also consider B capital D. B capital D. Okay, BD cube by 12. So that is, we know that 200 multiplied by the capital D is, or example D is 300. So BD cube by 12. And you will get the answer in millimeter to the power of 4, because B in millimeter and is in millimeter cube. So multiply by this value, we will get millimeter to the power of 4. So we'll get the moment of inertia or moment of area of a rectangular section. Please note down BD cube by 12. So that is 45 into 10 to the power of 7 millimeter to the power of 4. Please check the answer. Please check the answer. Fine. Next, sectional modulus. Sectional modulus. That is Z. So here I have written ZT and ZB as same. Why? Because in the rectangular section, the sectional modulus of this particular rectangular section will be same. Why? Because the neutral axis distance, that is this particular 300 millimeters depth, the neutral axis section, that is 150, 150. Exactly, it lies at the middle. So hence, or since YT or YB is same, since YT, this is YT, please note down. So this one is called YT. This one is called YT. Okay. And this one is called YB. So this is called YB. That is neutral axis. Sorry. This one is YT. This one is YT. That is top. That is top. Neutral axis distance measured from the top. And this one is YB. Okay. Since it is a rectangular section, okay, the centroidal axis lies exactly at the center. So hence, so YT is equal to 150 and YB is equal to 150. Therefore, your sectional modulus is also same. If this YT and YB distance differs, if it is not symmetrical section, then we need to calculate ZT and ZB different. We cannot assume it as same. Since YT and YB are same, the sectional modulus will also be same. Therefore, ZT is equal to ZB is equal to I divided by YT or YB. YT or YB. Okay, as we know that Z is equal to moment of inertia of the section divided by neutral axis of the section. So hence, We know that 45 into 10 to the power of 7 millimeter to the power of 4 divided by YT or YB distance is 150 millimeter. Millimeter to the power of 4 divided by millimeter. You will get the answer in millimeter cube. That is 45 into the power of 7 divided by 150. You will get the answer 3 into 10 to the power of 6. So please note this point. Okay. I hope you got the same answer. Next, we'll move on to the next. Self weight of the beam or dead load of the beam. The dead load or self weight of the beam is equal to self weight or dead load of the beam is equal to, how to calculate that? Width of the beam into overall depth of the beam. Please note down into overall depth of the beam into density of concrete. And please note down here, always the dead load the answer will be in kilonewton per meter. But my dimensions are in millimeter. So please convert those into meter. That is 0.3 is the overall depth, 0.2 is the width of the beam, which is in meter into 24 kilonewton per meter cube. Since in the problem they have been given 24 kilonewton per meter cube, so you consider. If they are not being mentioned, you can consider 24 or 25. Better you consider 25 kilonewton per meter cube. Okay. Then, so meter, it will become meter square and kilonewton per meter cube. So it will get cancelled. You will get the answer in 1.44 kilonewton per meter. So please note this point. So these things looks very simple, but in a hurry you will forget this. You will start multiplying 300 into 200 to 24. So please be careful. Next, live load of the beam. They have been given in the problem 6 kilonewton. So this is WD. WD, self weight of the beam. WD or WDL is 1.44. WLL is 6 kilonewton per meter. So for this, let us calculate the stresses. So now, for this, let us calculate the stresses. So now, first coming to the dead load moment. So dead load moment is MD or MDL. Okay, so MDL is equal to WDL into L square by 8. Why? Because the dead load moment will always be acting as a UDL. Hence, it will be, that is one thing. And one more thing is, I'm going to calculate this dead load, okay, at a midspan, okay, as they have been mentioned. So therefore, WDL is 1.44, which is in kilonewton per meter, into L span is in meter, divided by 8, which will give you 6.48 kilonewton meter. 6.48 kilonewton meter. Please note this point. Next, coming to the live load moment. Okay, the live load moment is ML is equal to, so instead of Q, write down ML is equal to, once again, WLL or WL into L square divided by 8. Which is equal to, since the live load, why I'm using this formula? Since they have been asked the stresses at midspan, hence I'm using this formula. If quarter span they have been asked, the formula is different. If they ask in 1/3 span, the formula is different. Since the bending moment will be maximum at the center, and that bending moment will be given by WL square by 8. So the live load is 6 into 6 square divided by 8. You will get the answer 27 kilonewton meter. So these are all the basic data you need to calculate. This is the step number 1. Calculating E, calculating P, calculating A, calculating I, calculating Z, WD, WL, MD, ML. So these are all the basic parameters we need to calculate. Next, let me move on to the next. Okay, the next is calculating the stresses. Okay, so in the yesterday class, I've been clearly mentioned based upon the pre-stressing induced, you need to apply the stress formula. So now the very first thing is it is eccentric pre-stressing. And one more thing, this particular section is subjected to the live load. So therefore the formula, coming to the formula, since the pre-stressing has been induced inside the concrete beam, because I've been told in yesterday class, once the pre-stressing induced inside the tendon, okay, in the concrete beam, the formula will become P by A, or direct stress formula will become P by A. So the same formula I'm going to substitute here, that is P by A. Okay, now please note down, always the stresses answer will be in Newton per millimeter square. So you substitute the pre-stressing force in Newton, which is there in kilonewton, okay, divided by millimeter square, you will get the answer in 4.948. Please check the answer. Next, since it is eccentrically pre-stressed, that means the cable which is placed or the pre-stressing force as induced away from the centroidal axis, it is called eccentric pre-stressing. Hence, the stress formula is, or the bending stress formula is M by Z or PE by Z. Okay, so this is the moment that is going to create due to pre-stressing force. So hence PE by Z. Therefore, so the pre-stressing force substituted into eccentricity in millimeter 50 divided by Z in millimeter cube. So hence the answer will be 4.948 Newton per millimeter square. Please note this point. Okay. Next, the stresses due to self-weight. That is calculated MDL divided by the Z. Okay, so please note down, I'm writing Z and Z here because in top and bottom both it is same. If it differs, you need to calculate all these things separately. Okay, so that also I'm going to discuss in the next problem. Next, let me substitute the MDL. So please note down, since I've been told the stresses should be in Newton per millimeter square. So please note down your moment is in kilonewton meter. You need to convert that into Newton millimeter. Hence, 6.48 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter. 6.48 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeter divided by 3 into 10 to the power of 6 millimeter cube. And final answer will be 2.16 Newton per millimeter square. Likewise, live load stress, that is ML divided by Z, live load moment divided by the Z, same thing, 27 kilonewton meter was the answer. Convert into Newton millimeter divided by the Z. Okay, so we'll get 9 Newton per millimeter square is the answer. So now let us go with a beautiful diagram, the stress diagram. So first, direct stress. Since I'm inducing pre-stressing force, so this pre-stressing force will create a pre-compression throughout the beam. Hence, P by A will be same both at the top and bottom. Next, the bending stress or eccentricity, okay, is 4.948 Newton per millimeter square, both at the top and the bottom. So hence, first I will teach you. Let me draw the first straight line to my left. Draw the horizontal line. Need not to be scale. Need not to be draw like 4.9 centimeter. Simply draw. That's it. Okay, 4.948, and to my right side, draw 4.948. Draw the beautiful linear line and notate it by positive and negative. Why it is positive at the bottom? Because the pre-stressing force is induced at the bottom. It will create a pre-compression. So hence, so this will be positive and it will be negative. Okay, and this answer will differ based upon the section. If it is unsymmetrical section, this answer will differ. Now it is a rectangular symmetrical section. Both at the top and the bottom is same. Why? Because the neutral axis distance is same. Fine. Next, let me move to the next. Let me go with the dead load stress. Once again, draw the straight line. To my left, draw the left, that is positive line. To my right, draw the negative line. Draw the beautiful linear line. Why it is negative at the bottom? Why it is positive at the top? Why it is exactly ulta here? Because when the beam is subjected to the external loads, then the tensile stresses will be developed at the bottom, compressive stresses will be developed at the top. Is it clear? And you can see, since it is 4.948, you reduce the distance a little bit. Okay. Next, live load stresses, 9 at the top and 9 at the bottom. Same thing. Write down a beautiful straight line. Okay, to my left, positive. To my right, negative. Draw the slanting line. Okay, and positive at the top and negative. Same thing. Once it is subjected to live load, okay, it will be creating, or I can say, the stresses, compressive stresses at the top and tensile stresses at the bottom. Now, calculate the F superior, or okay, the topmost or extreme fiber stresses. So now 4.948 minus, plus into minus, it will become minus 4.948 plus 2.16 plus 9. So it will become 11.16. 11.16. Is it clear? 11.16. Okay, so 4.948 minus 4.954, it will become 0. Left out with 2.16 plus 9, it will become 11.16. Next, 4.948 plus 4.948 minus 2.16 minus 9. So it will become minus 1.20 Newton per millimeter square. That means it is tensile. So once again, draw the straight line. To my left, draw the compression line. To my right, draw the negative line. So draw this and show. So in each problem, you need to draw the stress diagram and represent the stresses. So like this, we need to calculate. And the maximum working stress in the concrete, they have been asked, is 11.16 Newton per millimeter square, which is compression, which is very good. Okay, because have been completely nullified the tensile stresses. It is very less. Okay, so like this, we need to calculate the stresses for a PSC section. In this problem, I have been considered the rectangular section. I hope the problem has been clarified. If any doubts are welcome. Let me go ahead with the doubts. Any doubts you can ask? Any doubts you can ask? Any doubts you can ask?
Positive, right positive, ಅದು ಯಾಕೊಂಡ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಐತೆ ಸರ್.
What doubt ಆಗ್ತದೆ?
ಅದು ಪ್ರೀ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ವೇಟ್ ಇದು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೈವ್ ಲೋಡ್.
See here, whatever the straight line have been drawn, if once the pre-stressing force is induced, once the pre-stressing, ಭಾಸ್ಕರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನೋ ಸರ್, ನೋ ಸರ್.
Okay, okay. ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರದು?
ಅಜಯ್ ಸರ್.
Ajay, I think you are absent for yesterday class.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಬಂದಿದೆ.
See here, once the pre-stressing force is induced at the bottom, because you can see in the problem here, see, See, when I'm going to induce the pre-stressing force at the bottom, because I will always place the tendon or a steel below the neutral axis. That means it will create a compression phase at this, because it is a compressive stresses here. Okay, and at above the neutral axis, it will be negative. So that is what I've been drawn. Once the same beam, if I'm being subjected to the external loads, you have been read from your basic RCC class that when the beam is subjected to the external load, okay, then the tensile stresses will occur at the bottom, compressive stresses will be occur at the top. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So hence, negative will come when the dead load will come into the picture at the bottom. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what my perspective here is, so when you're going to draw the diagram, you'll get confused. So that's why I'll maintain the same scenario. Draw the straight line. Here also draw the straight line. Okay, since it is positive at the bottom, that is compressive at the bottom, always treat to the left of the straight line is positive. Am I right? Here also, you see, once the beam is subjected to the external load, the top will become positive. Hence, I will write left line here. Exactly ulta, negative at the top and negative at the bottom. The same convention have been used here. I hope now the doubts has been clear.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So any other doubts? Any other doubts? So this is the rectangular section have been solved. Any doubts? And please note down, this is the one case. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is, please note down, what I'm trying to explain here is, in different problem, I'm going to teach you different concepts by taking different section. For example, next I will consider symmetrical eye section. Okay, and I'm not going to do the same problem now. I'm going to ask a different way, a different thing, but the section is different. So like that, that means if you keep on using the same section, it will elaborate much. So that's why in PSC, each problem is unique. You need to read the problem, understand the problem. Okay. So any doubts in the problem? So with this, okay, if I'm going to start the next problem, it will take time. I will continue to